Show. I'm revealing the results of my huge backyard deck transformation. Tammy, the naturopath, is back to discuss the importance of taking control of your breath on the reno site. I have a brand new plant of the day from the Greenery Sydney, and I have a piano DIY that will blow you away. Episode, you saw us not only ripping up a very big deck, but introducing you to the amazing Trex Transcend decking system. And during this episode, you are going to see this project come to fruition, and it is nothing short of amazing. Now, there were a pile of colours to choose from in the Trex Transcend range. Now, even though this property isn't brand new and it does have quite a few warm tones to it, I've actually chosen to go with this gorgeous contemporary grey, and it's called Island Mist. Now, there's a pile of reasons for this. One, I loved the colour variation, I loved the grain in it, and I also loved the fact that although it's quite a cool grey, it goes with quite a few warm tones, and it can provide either a contemporary, a rustic, a country, or even a cottage look. So I'm absolutely loving it. I can't wait to see it down in broad form. Jono gets us started off, and then I do some final prep with the adhesive and get cutting before we power on to the main part of the deck as a team.
So what I'll do is I'll grab the board, we'll walk it in together.
Yep.
We'll take our time walking over the joist. Then I'll clip it in, and I'm going to sit about 20 mil over this where I'm meant to be.
Yep.
And then basically once that's in,
yep,
then I'll keep saying yep, and you just clip them in like as you follow. And do you want to do the running man along it each time?
Oh, we can all stop.
No, it's just you.
Okay, I'll stop. Do I get to clip and stop?
Yeah, so you'll push it in and then you stop the hollow.
Stop.
Stop.
Clip.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got shit in. Yeah?
Clip. Yeah. Stop.
So you've got to push in first like that. Yep.
Like that?
Yep, and then push your back end in. Done. Now walk along it.
Now walk along it?
Yep. Stop.
Like stop?
Yep. Yep. What's it called? A dinosaur. Yeah, next one. Just watch for the sticker.
Follow that.
Let me make it something appropriate.
Oh, you haven't been on enough building sites.
Good. Watch your fingers on that noggin here. Down.
Good building, buddy. We should all jump on them.
We don't want to break them.
Ready?
There you go. Good. Nice.
Alright, we're mid-project here, and I've had the pleasure of working with the J. Clark construction team. They have been absolute whizzes, certainly the Dexperts when it comes to how to lay this Trex Transcend product. And I must admit, this hidden fastening system, I have never seen a deck go down with this type of speed. Once the bearers and joists were laid out and the fastening system was in place, I absolutely adore how streamlined, how quick that this can come all together before my eyes, really. And I must admit, absolute joy to work with. Not only good blokes, unbelievably professional, and most importantly, really good at what they do. There you have it. These decks are finished, and boy do they look amazing. I am over the moon with the Trex Transcend product. The texture, the colour, the width of the board, the gorgeous long boards. I'm thrilled, and I'm even more thrilled about the concept that for the next 25 years there's no maintenance, no sanding, no staining, no oiling, no scrubbing back. I'm pumped. All I need to do to take good care of these beautiful boards now and this amazing deck is a light brush and a light clean with soapy water when the kids get them a little messy. To achieve this next level finish, it is all about attention to detail. Now, there are some instances where you do need to use face fixings, but never fear, Trex has this covered for you too, with these amazing pro plugs. These literally are screw or fixing concealers. It's as simple as fastening the deck down and then inserting one of these pro plugs. It is absolutely mind-blowing the amount of time I spent trying to find exactly where these face fixings were. They literally disappear. Alternatively, if the pro plugs are not for you, then their colour matching fixing system may be. That is right. Trex have colour matched screws and fasteners that you can use to drill a small pilot hole into your deck and then screw in this colour match system, and you will never even notice it's there. If you take a really close look, you can see that the head of the fixing system is a perfect match to the colour of the boards. Those of you who know me well know I love bringing the indoors out and the outdoors inside. And on this deck, it is going to be no different. So it's time to start styling this deck up and enjoying it in its full beauty. So let's get to it. And there you go, we are done and ready for the whole family, including the cats, to enjoy. There is nothing left for me to do now other than look at the view, watch the kids, dream up my next project and sit back and relax because there is no maintenance to be done here. Plant of the Day with Chloe from the Greenery Sydney. Chloe's bought us a bit of a fancy pants plant this week, I tell you. I am loving the fact, Chloe, that this has some striped variegated leaves and some thick glossy black ones. What have you done?
So I've planted this one together. This is an Aspidistra elatior.
Does it have a common name?
It does. It's the cast iron plant.
Oh, winner! Is that why you're able to like repot it and it responds and just thrives?
It really is cast iron. It's very, very hardy.
And so to repot this, is it as simple as it sounds, that you literally upended a variegated pot, a green pot? Did you separate them all and put them together?
They can be separated, so they do grow in clumps. So you can just snip them in between and then repot them all together and arrange them how you'd like.
And they'll become a happy family.
They will.
So you can actually, that's interesting. So you can actually arrange the clumps to have the composition of the plant that you want.
Definitely.
So you could put, if you needed a flat back plant to go against a wall, you could put your taller pieces at the back and then
the shorter ones and variegated at the front.
That is very cool. Now, cast iron, do I really believe that?
It is very hard to kill.
Okay, so if I'm going to keep this alive and thriving, or whoever I gift it to, what do I need to tell them?
Okay, this does like to be kept quite moist during growing season. Again, spring
and summer.
That's right. And then during winter, not watering so much. So probably 2 weekly, 3 weekly with this
Now,
one.
let's see if I've learnt anything from you. Given it's got luscious green leaves, not direct sun.
It can, but not too much.
Okay, so no western direct sun through a window inside a house?
No.
Okay, so filtered light?
Yes.
But not massive direct sun?
No, so if you've got a little bit of western sun and it's set back from the window, it'll be fine.
Okay, all right, fantastic. Well, I think this needs to go to a beautiful home because it's a gorgeous composition. Good job.
Really is. Thank you.
Again today, Tem. I'm ready for the next hack of how I can stay well on a reno site, which I obviously have not been doing a good job of right now.
Well, we all have our little moments, but we do have a few hacks up our sleeve to be able to keep really well for a long term on a reno.
Tell me about today's.
Today's gets me very excited because there's these really interesting things that happen with your body, and everybody thinks, oh, it's all about the food, although I know there's some episodes coming up about really cool food.
There is some very cool food ones coming up.
But we can live actually about 3 weeks without food.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't live more than a couple of hours. I get hangry, hey.
We can also live about 3 days without water, and we've got another episode on that as well.
We do.
But we can only live about 3 minutes without breathing. See, even the word. I bet there's somebody who's watching this right now going,
it's so true, isn't
because
it?
even when we're reminded of the word, all of a sudden our body goes, oh yeah, that's right, oxygen is kind of important.
And it's amazing how much, I was about to say we don't breathe well, but we are so inefficient in the way we breathe and what we provide to our body through.
Particularly when we are stressed, under the pump, under time limits, and
is that breathing that goes
and we breathe from these muscles up here and forget about the rest of our lungs. Yeah,
and that's when someone says to you to breathe and you're like, oh, my stomach came out all of a sudden.
Yeah, right.
So what is the massive benefit, and what are the ways that you can maybe trigger easily without having, because I don't want everyone thinking I mean tools down and go sit in a corner and
none of that. But
right.
you know, moving from supplier to supplier in the car especially, it's one of the easiest ways to remember when you're at a red light. They take about the 5 breaths to get round to you again.
You have counted. That is alarming.
Well, it's a hack, right? I even forget myself. And so when I'm sitting at the lights and they're red, I'm only taking 5 breaths and that's it. It's as simple as that. And they're those big belly ones.
So do you count in, count out, or are you a believer in longer out than in to soothe the nervous system?
I'm a believer in super simple. 5 breaths,
I like it.
5 seconds. That's it.
So 5 breaths, each taking 5 seconds.
Well, count of 5.
Count of 5 in?
Yep. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty
5
simple,
of them.
right? 5, yeah.
And so, you know I'm science-based. So will that do anything to make me more clever, thinner, more efficient, faster, cooler, wealthier.
There is so much scientific research on breathing, particularly because it's been around since the yogic days. We're talking thousands of years. And so the actual impact is lessens the amount of stress because it switches your nervous system
Which makes
from
me
fight
thinner.
or flight down to, yeah, exactly, makes you thinner. Fitter, more focused because it increases the amount of oxygen that's around your brain, and that's how we get the information around our brain, making sure that we're
So more
oxygenated.
effective, more efficient.
Yep, making better decisions. So your cognitive feedback is working really, really well.
Better
that way.
choices when we hit challenge.
That's right.
Yep.
And it also ensures that you're not as fatigued. And we know different issues come up when we're fatigued on a site. It
don't
could be a little bit of a problem long term.
They do. Especially if your issue on a site ends up with one of your trays leaving.
Or a thumb getting whacked because you weren't quite concentrating.
Yeah, cool. She's been around me on a Reno site, obviously. Okay, so today's hack, 5 in, 5 out, 5 times. 5, 5, 5. I feel like doing this Stay Alive with the 5. 5, 5, 5 at the red traffic lights.
That's it.
Breathe. This piano came from an old dance studio, and as you can see, the piano is old and in desperate need of some love. First things first, always give a good sand to remove any oil, dirt and dust. We bought these beautiful decorative roses to glue inside the already made frames. All we need to do is a bit of wood glue and tape. Then on they go. Once they've dried overnight, it's time to fill the gaps with silicone and then get on to painting. I grabbed this paint from my local Bristol store. It's a beautiful light green chalk emulsion paint, which will give the piano an interesting look when it's all finished. When painting over these detailed items, like the roses, always use a brush to help get into those holes and those gaps. After letting all the paint dry and just a light sand, it's time to fill the gaps of those frames. A quick tip, when filling in the gaps, make sure that you run your finger over the top after you've applied the gapping. This will ensure a nice smooth finish. Time for the second coat. I've stepped back from this one and let my daughter and Denise get their hands dirty. Painting is done. Now it's time for those finishing touches. A bit of wallpaper and some black wax to pull out the details on those roses. the finished product is even better than we'd hoped it would be. This piano went from looking worn out and old to elegant, aged and beautiful. Now all that's left to do is move it into its new home. Next time on The Reno Show, I'm kicking off a huge laundry transformation, and Patricia Lohan is back to reveal how to incorporate Feng Shui into your outdoor living area. I have another easy and delicious recipe from By Rosie Recipes, and you do not want to miss my home dresser DIY.